Howdy chaps, welcome back to another fantastic episode. I'm not in South Australia. Look at that! I was literally just saying you got to walk about 35 feet back to get this bastard on camera. What a monster. And if you remember the last couple of videos, it was parked yonder, but it is now yonder? He appears to have made some progress. It's pretty much finished actually, so pretty much museum spec. It is actually done on the inside. Yep. I wonder if I can sneak the camera in through the... Look how thick the armour is, insane, isn't it? Ooh. Looking awfully pretty. Yes, that doesn't look like it was a particularly fun job to sandblast inside. I think a brick to the face might have been slightly more entertaining. More fun. You know, I really would feel safe behind that. Ow. Fully blasted and painted and fairly complete really as far as tanks go. The turret basket, turret, a lot of the gizmos and doodads and hoo-has and whatnots. Yes, I'm using my technical words. But this trip's a bit of an odd one. We're actually going to an auction tomorrow. I might have to film that on my phone, but I thought I'd show this off as the beginning of the video. There's a few tanks for sale at the auction we're going to tomorrow. So that'll be fun. Also, in one of my more popular videos, you would have seen us blast this, and it is getting there. He reckons he'll get his done before me. I really am thinking I might finally win one. You turn your back around here and the thing's done in 2 seconds, the mongrel. You blink and it's done. But it's not too shabby. Looks fantastic really. You can't really complain. It's actually, my humble opinion, is actually slightly better than museum, because museums don't go to the amount of detail this chap goes to. Not in my opinion anyway. They get them like 90%, but this guy gets them to 100. Maybe even 110. And I get the fun job of trying to shut that, because it was not exactly easy to open. Busy, busy, busy. Alright, I'll see you in the next section of this, chaps.
I'll go down the heart attack tomorrow.
Don't worry, there's still strokes out there as well.
Yeah.
I've got to film a car. I might be overdubbing this one, I reckon, because of the wind.
Yeah.
Look at him, he's dreaming about his future tank. Alrighty, back on deck, back from the auction. That was a long drive. And I think we're going to dig out Winston, old Winston here in a second, and get that out, maybe take some photos of it. And then we're going to do some work on the Stuart and those two tanks out there, the Lee and the other Stuart. Not that Stuart, the other Stuart. No, the Stuart. No, the other Stuart. No, the other Stuart. Oh, that Stuart. Yes. I also wanted to get on camera. No one will ever imagine how insanely heavy these A-frames are. They are astronomically heavy. I guess they've got to be strong because they've got to be able to take a fair bit of torque and stuff and strain when they're moving tanks. But God, they're heavy. They don't look it, but they're really ridiculously good looking and heavy. Alright, get this out and show you around a bit better. Alrighty, you might remember this tank from one of my older videos, but it's looking a lot better now. I think I might have mentioned it earlier in this video. We're about to tip this thing upside down so some welding can happen underneath it, or on the inside. But yeah, we'll get that on film. See a little Stuart tank be rolled over. Be kind of funny. I think it's only going to go onto its side, maybe. We'll find out in a second. Well, let's see how this goes then, eh? So one of the things we're going to do here is play with this doorless Lee, or ironically it's actually got a very big door right now, but it's not supposed to have any doors on the side at all. And we're going to cut all the rubbish that the farmers put on back off. Like whatever that is. And all of this gibberish. So that'll be fun. I'll have to catch you up as we go. I don't know if I can do too many time lapsing. I just forgot my tripod because I'm an idiot. But we'll keep you tied up and see how we go. But the idea is to make it look a little less like a tractor and more like a tank. Isn't it typical? You just get into it and the oxygen runs out. But at least we've made it look a little less tractor-like and a little bit more tank-like. It's funny, you look at this stuff and you're like, oh, I wonder what those are. Those are suspension units. The ends of them, those are these. That somebody has cut off another tank, flipped around and welded them on the front of this to act as a pivot. I've got to say, even though the farmers sort of wrecked World War II vehicles in their process, you got to give them credit for what they were doing with what they had and turning things that you would think, you just wouldn't think about, and they turned them into different things. Like, this is going to trip you out, but that's a gun barrel welded in the hull as another pivot. You can see the rifling in it still. That's a 75mm gun barrel in both sides, welded through, cut and welded in the hull. They just used whatever the hell was going. Incredible. You see that on lots and lots of them. I'll just cut this piece of junk off the back because the rear piece of armour is supposed to go there is missing. So this tank's actually a radial tank because they've got the rear doors on it, and it's, you know, if you know the tanks you'll know what you're looking at. But it's actually got one of the Detroit diesels stuck in the hole. So that is out of another tank and is in here. You can tell it was radial because there's one of the radial mounts. Yeah, they just used all sorts of whatever was going to make things, and usually it was bits of other tank. So I think when you look at this piece over here, this piece on this Stuart, this piece of trunnion or whatever it is, that's actually the side armour off another tank. That's one of these pieces, cut in half and then stuck on, because you can see the beveled edge that would go here. So they've chopped up another tank, cut the piece in half, and then welded it and bolted it to the side of this tank. So, you know, they were pretty cluey. Pretty damn cluey. Like, there's another suspension unit from a Stuart welded on the front as something else. But mind you, this suspension unit is totally stuffed. Like, that is seriously worn out. That, no joke, should be about an inch wider than that. But realistically, for a Stuart hull, that's actually not that bad, really, because it's still got the rear doors on it, even though they've been opened and then turned into something else. They've added bits in and added this piece of junk and, you know, put something else, another drive line in here and extend the chassis. And then they've just left the doors on. So actually that's a pretty easy fix. Just cut that crap off, free up the hinges, and you've got your doors. Oh, I've welded up a few little issues, but yeah, you can just turn the door, shut the doors again. Yeah, and you can see these, you can pick when these are worn out, because these have got a little beveled edge here, and then you go back to this one and it's absolutely dead smooth. That whole bevel edge is gone, and you can see how what little groove is left. So that's sunk in. It's actually not sunk in, it's this is worn out. And obviously the tyres are shot. And where is it on this side? This one had a look at that. That you shouldn't be able to put your finger through there. That is totally worn out as well. So some of the suspension is a little bit sad. But it's interesting, this tank being a later one, this is actually a hybrid because it's a riveted lower with a non-riveted upper, so it's sort of a bit of both. It's right in that sort of middle ground before they went to fully welded. And it's got the machine gun ports that are not welded up. So it does prove that it wasn't just the early ones that had, you know, the machine guns are only in the early ones. Well, I don't know about you, but that's not welded up. Normally they just put 3 plates of steel over the top of that, but quite clearly that still had its machine guns in it. And the driver probably had a whale of a time. See, these springs are broken, they're all collapsed. you know, small bit of gardening, you know, a nice lawn. So fairly incredible really. But as far as a hole goes, this is actually, I mean, it looks a bit destroyed, but there's more of that hole than I started with. And you can pick its original number. T38262, I think. I think the other side's, oh, look at that big crack in it. Woo! Let's look at this side. I think this side's got a number a bit clearer. Ah, there we go. There's a 4 there. T38262. Pretty good. A lot of originality on this. Really, I've seen this on a few of them, because that's where the muffler lives on the other side. I'm really thinking those radio engines, those mufflers must have got seriously hot. Always look for markings because I find it a bit interesting. But unfortunately, a lot of the originality is kind of gone. But, you know, I might crack out the drone in a second and see if I can get a nice aerial shot of that Churchill way up there. Oh, look at it. That's a hell of a zoom, I just realised. Here she comes. Woohoo! You know, I think that rear spring might be broken. Well, that rounds out a transmission installation fairly nicely. Haven't quite got it there, but we've just, as you can tell, the sun is plummeting pretty damn hard. So tomorrow we're going off to another yard, hopefully, and hopefully I can get some good footage of what's there. But nice little update on the M3A1, which was dug out in one of my last videos. Not my last videos, the last videos here. But sticks are in, pedals in, linkages are in. It's just a matter of lining up the bolts, and then the spacers are in, and then just putting in the bits that were cut out by someone else, put them back in, weld it up, perfect. And this thing is motoring along quite nicely. It's tank recovery day. Oh, there she goes. God, that must be like 1.5 feet in the ground. Come to Papa. Must be 50 years since that's moved. Incredible. Incredible. It is a small crater. Well chaps, that rounds out a fantastic trip with a nice recovery of a very late M3 Stuart. Let's not add in what I was just thinking when that light cut me off mid-sentence, so I better make this quick. So yeah, we did a recovery today of this in Tank Dreamland. I had a great time, fantastic trip, and I really hope you enjoyed the video.